You are building a monster of a data center, 7,200 racks in a single building, and also the associated capabilities that runs around building a data center. So can you talk to us about more about what you are building?
Yeah. So Yotta is building two large data center parks in India at two landing station locations of Navi Mumbai and Chennai. In Navi Mumbai, we are creating a data center park of 30,000 racks, which will be spread over 18 acres and 5 buildings. And in Chennai, we are creating a data center park of 20,000 racks, which will be spread over around 13 acres and 4 buildings. The reason to create large data center capacities is something which is visible to all of us. It is a huge data explosion in India, which we all are witnessing, backed by the 4G wave, the upcoming 5G wave, the growth of broadband, the growth of adoption of social media, e-commerce, the adoption of cloud by enterprises, which is making their applications and workloads moving away from their offices into public clouds, which are in turn running into data centers. So backed by all these business and technology drivers, and further backed by the new legislation which government want to bring in, which is the data protection and data localization, and also the new upcoming technologies like IoT, AI, ML, which will further bring in multiple use cases where data explosion will happen. India will be needing, we feel, more than 15 times more capacity compared to what it exists today. And that is where data center parks concept come in. As a first step, we are starting with first building in the Navi Mumbai data center. This building itself is almost 50 times larger than the largest existing data center building in India. It has 7,200 racks capacity with a total power of 50 megawatt. This power, not only this data center park is coming at my own land. This is a Hiranandani campus which is owned by us. The building construction capability is in-house, so it has been constructed by our in-house engineers. The design is in-house, the operations is in-house. So the complete real estate capability is in-house. Even the power which is coming to this data center, we have taken the power from the high tension grids on a bulk level. We have created the complete distribution infrastructure of power by my own group company in this campus. So we have huge benefits, not only in terms of that you control the power distribution infrastructure at a HT level, but you also end up getting a lot of commercial benefits because of that. Considering the large scale of the project on a long basis, we know that we need to own the infrastructure of power and we need to bring the cost down. That is why we also are creating a 40 megawatt solar power project at a place called Sindhudurg near Goa. That power generated from solar plant will be uploading into the grid and then receiving at Panvel. That is not only going to make our campus green, but also it will further reduce the price which will pass on to the customer. And over medium terms for which the feasibility is on, we are also planning to put up our own gas-based power generation plant right next to our data center park. As you might be knowing that our group company H Energy has gone very big way into gas business. We are planning to bring that gas to our campus, and once we have that gas power plant on at the site, again it is not only making the entire capability of power generation in-house, but it is also making us reduce the prices of power for our customer. And second is this plant which we are planning to create is what we call as cogen plant, a CHP combined heat and power plant, which also produces chilled water as a byproduct, and that in turn will be fed to my data center cooling system, which will reduce the PUE as well. And finally, considering the large data center park we are creating, customers also want to have a practically unlimited capacity of fiber coming into the campus from multiple redundant paths and from multiple telecom operators. So what we did as a long-term capability, instead of depending on telecom operators, we created our own trenches from our data center buildings all the way to the two highways. Our campus is between the Mumbai-Pune Express Highway and Mumbai-Pune Old Highway. We have created very large trenches, two on the express highway side and two on the old highway side, and we have put 15 pipes on each of these paths. So what has happened that all the telecom operators who were running their fiber on these highways, it has just taken them a couple of days to bring their fiber into our campus from 4 paths. And today our data center park and first data center building is connected with all the telecom operators with a huge fiber capability.
So Mr. Gupta, as your Navi Mumbai 1 data center is being built in Panvel in Mumbai, we have learned that some very big customers have already signed up. So tell us more about it.
Yeah, this is something which is very, very encouraging for all of us at Hiranandani and at Yotta. Thanks to a very encouraging ecosystem surrounding us, which is the capabilities of the Hiranandani group, we were able to build the project very fast. We have a very, very talented design team which had the experience of building similar data centers. We had a very aggressive and motivated business teams. All this combined together helped us in propagating Yotta's message to our targeted customer community, both hyperscale cloud customers as well as the enterprise customers. We were able to time showcase to our customers on social media and through various channels what we are doing and how we are progressing. Customers have trusted us. They really could see that we are delivering what we were promising a few months back, and that has helped us in getting a lot of customers who are contracting with us. And this is quite an assorted mix of customers, starting from some mid-scale cloud operators, some data center operators who have found it worth that they can run their own data centers and host their customers in our wholesale data center instead of creating their own data center, benefiting from the economies of scale which Yotta is offering to them, and a lot of enterprise customers from BFSI or infrastructure or manufacturing domain.
And Mr. Gupta, Yotta Infrastructure Solution not only provides a co-location facility, but there are additional services also that you are providing, which is very important from a CIO perspective. So which, like cloud managed services. Yeah. So which are the other services that you provide apart from the co-location?
What I could see in my last 20 years in this industry is that customers' preference for running their applications and workloads has changed over a period of time. Starting from running their workloads on bare metal in their captive data centers, which was in late 90s to early 2000, customers gradually moved to co-location facilities, still running their own IT but co-locating their equipment into third-party data centers. There was a wave in 2008-2009 where customers started adopting managed hosting, taking dedicated equipment from service providers and hosting their content. And then 2010, 11, 12 onwards, the cloud started catching up. Today, if we see the scenario, because of a mass scale adoption of cloud, be it a public cloud, be it private cloud, or a combination of the two in form of a hybrid or a multi-hybrid cloud, enterprises now are running a hybrid IT environment where they would like to first use their existing hardware as much as they can, which means essentially they want to co-locate that equipment with you. But as and when the technology refresh cycle comes in, they would like to go for a new hardware, create a private cloud of that, and they would like service provider to offer that entire thing to the customer on a monthly OPEX charges model. So that is where your capability of delivering private cloud and hybrid cloud comes in. Customers at that time would also like the service provider to see which all workloads and applications can move to public cloud, and that public cloud may possibly be a hyperscale provider's public cloud like Amazon, Google or Azure, or it can be in many cases the customer will say, Mr. Provider, why don't you have your own public cloud and we can just use your own public cloud as well. Considering this landscape where the CIOs would like to have a gradual shift from one hosting way to the another hosting way, and there will always be a coexistence of these various ways in which the customer would like to host their applications. Yotta is launching multiple services. So co-location is just one form of running the customer workload, which we are offering obviously on a very large scale. But besides that, we are offering Yotta public cloud services, where it is not only the general regular compute services, but also for high density compute services, the compute services for things like AI, ML, and for things like IoT or big data, which is essentially GPU services, converged infrastructure, hyper converged infrastructure services, hybrid cloud services, federated cloud services, where we give a solution to customer where customer is using private cloud and public cloud of Yotta, but at the same time is also benefiting from the public clouds of other hyperscalers. IT management services, where customer would like us to manage his private cloud, the hypervisor, the operating systems, the databases, the security environment, the storage environment, and the network environment. Essentially anything and everything which goes below the customer's application, customers want us to manage, and we are actually launching all those services.
And Mr. Gupta, Yotta Infrastructure Solutions is the latest entrant in the data center market. You have an advantage of providing best of breed solutions. So, how do you compare what you are providing with your peers? Don't you think you are at an advantageous position?
Yes, good that you said advantage and not disadvantage, because when you are a newcomer, sometimes people may think you are at a disadvantage because you are late in the market. What I feel is, considering that that this industry is at the cusp of becoming big, so far it was just the initial state of this industry, we feel we are at a hugely advantageous position. We could see the industry trend, we could see where the industry is going to go over the next 10-15 years. That is why we decided to make this hyperscale data center parks. All other providers existing are struggling today to cope up with this demand, which is much higher than the supply which they had envisaged or what they had constructed, and they are just going helter-skelter in identifying lands and then trying to construct their buildings as soon as possible. We just started with much larger land parcels which we own. We started with constructing our solar plants. We started with construction with our own gas-based power plant. We started with our own fiber trenches and ducts, so that we can give unlimited fiber capacities to our customers. Same way on the technology side, because I don't have any inheritance of some proprietary systems which are a legacy of the past, we are instituting some very good partnerships with the leading OEMs and technology providers, so that using their research capabilities, using their innovative product, and using our services approach, we can take lots of services in the market at a very, very reasonably priced services which the customers can benefit from. The customer can, for example, take artificially intelligence based surveillance service, which they would like to use at their homes or offices, or maybe at a traffic signal or their factories. Now, this is something which is very unorganized today in India, but if I am able to deliver that service practically on a per camera per month basis, suddenly the latest technology, which is very, very good use case for multiple industries, becomes available to customer at a very, very reasonable price, and they can scale up or down whenever they want. Same is the case with the services like public cloud, which I am again trying to launch not only at a IaaS layer, but also giving a whole lot of PaaS services and SaaS services which are targeted towards various different industries. So we are actually planning to launch a couple of SaaS services which are targeted towards banking sector. So banking sector still has got a whole lot of let's say risks which they want to avoid by deploying certain applications which help them in avoiding those risks. But the adoption challenges of those applications in terms of cost or in terms of the capability of the providers sometimes stop them from adopting them. So if I'm able to partner with the right set of technology providers who can bring in that functional capability, and I can mix that with my infrastructure capability and my go-to-market capability, I can make those services available to customers. And there are a whole lot of such services. I cannot really open up everything what we are planning to do. But from today to next 8 weeks, you will see a whole lot of announcements from Yotta, where we have partnered with some of the best of the breed technology solution providers, and we will be using their solutions to offer them as a service for very different market segments.
So thank you so much, Mr. Gupta, for your time and all the best.